श्री श्री रास बिहारिणी जी की जय। सब वैष्णवों को सादर सनम्र सप्रेम जय श्री कृष्ण। Continuing the readings of the Sri Shiksha Patr, Bade Shiksha Patr of Sri Hari Rai Ji, we are on day 11, letter number 3 and verse number 3. Jai Shri Radhe. Verse 3. The world is said to be like water. When the water of the world has direct contact with the fire of loving devotion to the Lord, it destroys that loving feeling from its roots, like water extinguishes fire. Tika 3. Bad and materialistic association in this world is like water. Don't let it be anywhere near your devotional life without its being contained. Then it cannot directly affect or destroy that fire of devotion. An example of this is Bade, who had renounced everything and gone to the forest to devote his life to God. There he saw a female deer who, whilst drinking water, heard the roar of a lion and jumped to escape capture. As she did so, her unborn fawn fell from her womb into the river. Bade took pity on the fawn, and from this commenced his bad association. He gave up all of his devotional practices, and so from that moment of disassociated attachment spent 3 lifetimes separated from his true path. This is the extent to which bad association can be obstructive. Sri Nandaraji left serving his son to worship the goddess Ambika. Sri Thakurji did not tolerate this, and consequently the Sudarshan serpent came there and swallowed up Sri Nandaraji. Sri Thakurji then released his father from the serpent's grasp. Forming other relationships, attachments, and coming under negative influences can adversely affect even strong devotees. So what to speak of those devotees who are just starting out on their practices? Your loving sentiment to the Lord can be damaged by bad association, and so should always be protected from it. Verse 4. True devotees should always steer clear of false attachment. So, first of all, rid yourself of such attachments through good association. Without it, the attachments become difficult to eradicate. Tika 4. Always avoid the bad association of false attachment. Don't wait for it to occur before seeking good association, because it can generate this attachment and be detrimental to your loving devotion to the Lord. Therefore, first seek good association, and then bad association cannot become an obstacle. Time pursues all embodied things. Make all embodied beings. Make devotion your priority. They, as your life draws to a close, time will not be an obstacle. The soul who thinks, I'll enjoy the world now and worship the Lord sometime later, gets devoured by time in a single second, and there is no time left to follow the righteous path. Therefore, first of all, dedicate yourself to good association and remembrance of the Lord. If bad association approaches you, then you will be protected by the strength of your pious association alone. It's definitely the only way to be safe. Verse 5. In the absence of saintly people, reflect upon the divine mood gained through their association. Pay no heed to words that conflict with this saintly opinion. In the absence of saintly people, reflect upon the divine mood gained by their association. Pay no heed to words that conflict with this saintly opinion. Tika 5. It has been stated above that good association protects you from the effects of bad association. However, the doubt may arise that good association occurs only for a short time, whilst we then have to concern ourselves with worldly and scriptural obligations. So how to avoid such bad association? This inquiry can be answered as follows. Follow a regular routine of service to the Lord, remembrance of the Lord, and as much good association as possible. At other times, ponder upon what has been discussed, for example, in the accounts of devotees' lives, and bring that into relationship with your own spiritual life. Ponder, Sri Acharyaji and Sri Gosaiji have taught thus, and what am I doing? Try to renounce anything that you do that conflicts with those teachings, and adopt that which has been taught. If you apply your mind to devotion in this way, you will protect yourself from the effects of bad association. Have full faith in the words of great devotees, and keep your mind in check by pondering upon them. Just as a cow returns to the pen and chews the cud after eating grass from its grazing place, so when you are in the company of the Lord's devotees, hear what they have to say, and when alone, turn those words over in your mind and heart and enjoy their taste. If you hear something contrary to the mood of good association, ponder upon it from the point of view of considering what is the correct path and what opposes it. Never yourself speak against such good association, and never act in such a way that you could lose the chance for such association. verses 6 and 7. It was from bad association that King Bade took rebirth as a deer. Through Shri Acharyaji's grace alone, people overcome the impurities of this Kali Yuga or age of struggle. Therefore, always avoid bad association, and if you cannot avoid it completely, then remain silent and do not participate. Tika 6 and 7. You should always avoid bad association, knowing that it has a negative influence and takes you far away from the Lord. Sri Mahaprabhuji has stated in his Sannyasa Nirani, Conclusions on Renunciation, treatise, when your body becomes full of desires due to the effects of bad association, then it is definitely rendered incapable of experiencing the Lord. Bad association is a huge obstruction. In this material world, embodied beings are already by their very nature impure. This age of Kali represents even more difficulties. The mind considers itself clever, knowledgeable, renounced and under control, but don't believe it. Who can say when the touch of bad association destroys knowledge, renunciation, wisdom and tolerance in a single second? Considering that your mind, senses and body are impure through this influence of Kali, but that you are protected from this impurity through the brilliant energy of good association, and knowing that you can fail by just a touch of bad association which has removed the intelligence and righteousness from all beings, stay away from it. Only then can you begin to experience love of God. Here the question arises, bad association is all around me and is very strong and unavoidable. It is at home, in the neighbours, in the workplace, in the family. I have to have a home to survive, so how to avoid this mighty force? Sri Hari Raji's answer this question thus. If you act with understanding and a proper plan, you can avoid bad association by residing elsewhere. If you cannot thus completely avoid it, then refrain from speech and mental involvement. Never reveal your innermost feelings or speak about your faith, and mentally remove yourself from that place. One should never reveal one's love of God before those who have no faith, because your religious practices and the Lord are of one essence. If someone is attacking your faith, they are attacking the Lord himself. So stay silent and keep your consciousness fixed on your surrender to the Lord. In his Vivek Dheri Ashray, Wisdom, Perseverance and Refuge treatise, Sri Mahaprabhuji has written, in this world or in any other, and in every situation, Sri Hari is the refuge. In pain and loss, in sin or in fear, in the non-obtainment of the object of desire, where there is conflict with devotees, an absence of devotion, or if other devotees aggress you, whether you are incapable or incapable, in any situation, in every condition, remember that Sri Hari is the only refuge. Thus concludes the Tika to verses 6 and 7 in Shiksha Patr number 3. Aaj ke Anand ki jai ho, sab Vaishnavon ko sanamra sanand saprem. Jai Shri Krishna. Aaj ke Anand ki jai ho. We continue tomorrow on day 12 with verse 8 in letter 3. Jai Shri Radhe. Shiva Labhadi Shaki Jai.